Hello friends, today I bring you a little bit of a different video. I will explain why, in my opinion, Debos is the only real choice at the moment, compared to other accessories such as Tungrots, and even the cheap ones like Ruins, Valtaras, Crescents, and so on. First things first, let's take a look at the price. The Debo set is of course the most expensive, sitting at just over 300 billion silver, followed by Tungrot set, which is just under 200 billion. And last, and of course the least, is the absolute waste, as I call it, sitting at around 165 billion silver. As for the earring slot, you can see it is empty in all three cases. That is because the second earring is a flex slot per se, which will be filling depending on the spot we're grinding, which will be either a Disto or a Narc. Now, let's check out the set bonuses. For Depos, you'll be getting 12 AP at 3 set and 8 more AP at 5 set for a total of 20 AP. This is great, because unlike the Tungrad set, which only gives you 12 AP at 5 set, you will also be getting the first 12 AP sooner, which is actually going to be cheaper than your first AP set from Tungrad. For total AP, you'll be looking at something like this. For the Debo set, you'll be sitting around 1070 monster AP without an add-on, meaning you will be almost reaching 1.1k AP cap of Ulukita zones with it. For Tungrad set, we will lose 7 monster AP comparatively. And for the absolute waste, 9 AP more. The obvious and only con of Debors is their price. Even on TET being over 100 billion more silver for the whole set. Which just means that with other sets, you will get them slightly faster. But remember, once you do, there is no other path to progress or upgrade your accessories further, and you will have to swap to the Deborekas regardless. So here, you have to ask yourself, is the cost of tax while reselling the placeholder accessories worth it for the minuscule gain you get before going Deborekas? In my opinion, it is not, since all the spots you can grind before getting at least 3 sets of Debos are limited to spots where AP doesn't scale that well, even though the cap is technically 70%. Think of Ash Forest, Crypt, Gyfin, Olons, and other similar spots. At time of making this video, going for full pen Debos isn't really worth it, time investment wise. If I was to restart my progress, I would most likely just hammer the necklace, as it is the biggest AP gain, and after that I will start working on the sovereign weapons. So, might you ask, do I just go straight for Debos out of season, Looney? Well, yes, of course, my friend. And here's how you do it. As you graduate, you will have gear of something like this. With the proper consumables and crystals, you will be reaching around 900 monster EP with Frenzy and Courage. As for your first step, you'll be looking at making your Tuala shoes into Urugons, as it gives you the biggest DR. After that, you want to be progressing your Crescent Rings while getting your DP up. The way you do it is 2 ways. Depending on the market, it will be different. Sometimes it's just cheaper to buy a duo Fallen God armor piece than make it yourself with Flame, Kafras, and your Jetina base piece. You should do this for your helmet, for your armor, and for your gloves. As for your boots, with current prices, it's cheaper to also buy them outright. Unless you Jetina on your boots like I told you to earlier. If you did, just keep pre-ordering the embers, as the full flame is rarely sold. But when in doubt, you can always calculate it on Garmoth with the Kafras calculator. After you're done with your Fallen God 3 set, which gives you 7 more monster AP, you want to make your other Blackstar into pen, while either buying it or enhancing it. Personally, I would say that buying is gonna be always cheaper, unless you're RNG carried, of course. And once you do that, you'll be sitting at really good AP of just under 1000. At that point, I would say you can get yourself 2 Kabu artifacts from market. Currently, they're sitting min price, and I don't see why they would rise in price. After you have something like this, if you don't yet have your Ator shoes, I would suggest to put Kafras level 4 into your boots, and then you can go off to farm Devos. Starting with necklace, of course, in Ash Forest, then with belt and earring. After this, you can either continue grinding your normal spots where limbo drops and grind the rings yourself, or you can just buy them. Both of them are perfectly fine and viable, but I would always prefer to make your own debos, regardless of spot. Except for the earring, of course. Earring is very tragic at the moment, since it drops from a lot of spots and the supply is just through the roof. So, I would suggest making your own debos and buying the earring. But you can also buy. It's not like a huge difference or anything. After your 5 set, you can buy a pen disto and swap your Gitina rings to 2 narcs, just in case. And of course, get the pen Blackstar offhand. After this, the world's your oyster, as they say, and you can continue to progress as you want. You can pen your neck, belt, and earring using hammers, or you can just leave them at that. As for rings, I would honestly just wait for the hammers to be usable on them as well, and then progress them up. Since getting crowns right now is a pain for EU, and other servers are suffering as well. Well, that's about it for today. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.